Gaming with that 78-minute victory from game one. Both teams definitely warmed up and ready to go for this second game. The question is going to be if, can G2.iG, can they just do it a little bit better than they were trying to do last game? Because they came ever so close, Fog.
Yeah, I love this Coddle pick, to be honest with you, to be able to do that pressure. I think it was one of the, I was thinking Zeus perhaps, but I think this is a way better answer because it allows them to get that Spirit Vessel answer for most of the games. And it's a good hero to provide healing on pushes. Xingqiu, the body block.
Monet just blocking off Xingqiu's retreat. That's looks to be, he's got the Shadow Realm point.
30 seconds.
So he can try and get away, but he's not getting away. This is first blood for Monet on the safe lane Weaver.
Great start. And yeah, their draft, I think they were trying to find things that were similar to the last draft because I think they probably felt, hey, we absolutely should have won this game if we played better. But they found this Coddle, which is a really good answer for a lot of the heroes here, right? He's really good mobility versus something like Viper, who's, as we always talk about, one of the most immobile heroes in the game. You have to usually itemize for mobility. And he's great versus the Morphling. And he's going to provide healing and increased ways to take objectives, since that Illuminate as well, when you're grouped up with an IO, it can be very, very powerful. So let's see how these lanes do go down. Because the one thing I would say is it is a better overall lane for Ame in particular. I think last game they really doubled down to ensure that his lane was going to be pretty sad. He's playing versus CM Timber last game. This time it is a Morph versus a Slardar with the backup of an Enchantress. So we'll see how he does, because it is the IO bottom. So Baboka with the Slardar maybe does increase that pressure. We'll see how they play out, since it did move CM to the 5 position.
And if this game, G2.iG are able to get a similar amount of these kills that they were finding in the early game of game one, will it become harder than the game one position that Xtreme Gaming were forced into, or is it exactly the same? You know, how does that sort of change if once again G2.iG find themselves able to feed off the supports of Xtreme Gaming in the early mid-game?
I think it's just going to be a bit of a different game because XG actually has ways to be able to play better in their lanes and fight early. Like, XXS is playing a traditional offlaner who doesn't really need the most insane farm to be able to fight, and Xingqiu's not playing a 4 Earthshaker, which needs either Shard or Blink Dagger to have an impact. They're actually going to have better starts in the lane, so it feels like it's just going to be a bit of a different approach where it's going to be more battles in the mid-game rather than just heroes getting crushed, especially those supports on XG. It looks in theory that it should be more fight intensive, not just avoid 3 kills to 22 at the 30-minute mark.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Xtreme Gaming with that potential to fight earlier on, which is definitely going to cause this to be a bit more difficult for G2.iG to get such a lead as they did in that early game last game.
Yeah, because Monet's going to be slowed down, Ame's going to have a better start, and I haven't seen the Viper versus Coddle matchup so much, but I feel like Viper's going to be able to stand his own just fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the Coddle shouldn't die, right?
He shouldn't die.
A few levels, nothing to say. He's able to simply blast the wave out.
But Viper's going to be able to get these last hits. You know, he's got the same base damage and everything too, so as long as he doesn't get like double wave shoved under somehow in some weird manner, he should be able to just keep it consistent here for the Viper. So,
I mean, in terms of the potential of both carries to be as slippery as they want to be, I mean, who's going to be harder to catch this game? Has Monet got more risks ahead of him, or is it on the other side for Ame?
Monet, for sure, yeah. I mean, Ame maybe for like the early game a little bit, but he's going to have Manta first item, and that's going to pretty much make him quite uncatchable. Well, I think it's up to Nothing to Say's game of how Monet's game, or of how Ame's game in particular is going to go. Because if this Coddle has a fantastic start, super early Vessel, then Monet's game, or then Ame's game is going to be difficult.
The last hit so far, incredibly close.
Yep.
Across all 3 lanes.
Big aggro on top, XXS.
Trying to go for him here, but the brambles are laid down by Xingqiu to block off the potential chase of Monet and X-Nova.
Yeah, and
for XXS.
I would say, I guess that's the one thing for Monet is, he's got the Mars spells and then Xingqiu spells that he has to deal with a bit more, where, Morphling just has to deal with mostly the Coddle early on.
There can be a lot of damage that Xtreme Gaming can kick out in this top lane as well if they get set up with the brambles and the spear pushed through multiple. Monet will have to be careful. Very hard for them really to get kills themselves. Xingqiu always able to play safe with the Shadow Realm if they do try and make an attempt on him.
I wonder if we're going to see any of those early rotations. I know Miro was talking about it, but that was maybe more with like the CM being as a 4 position, but maybe we'll see a rotation anyway coming out from if Baboka sees an opportunity to go for a punish, but I don't know if he wants to leave JT, actually. I feel like these lanes are going to stay pretty steady.
JT on his own could definitely get gone upon.
Yeah.
Talked about before, obviously the strengths of the Enchantress against the Slardar, especially during the laning stage.
Yeah, being able to dispel sprint, it just does damage now and everything. It is very, very nice. Seeing JT is going up for the Orb of Corrosions to start the game, something you don't see picked up too often on something like Slardar, but since he's playing versus a Morph, and I guess the Ancient stuff too, he feels like it has its merits. Just for that heal reduction and chase down.
No, I guess so. Even with that, it feels like he's probably not going to get any kills down here, right?
No, I don't think so. But maybe for the overall like grand scheme of the game or something. I will have to see, because I've seen a lot of variation of builds. Some players love the Phase, Orchid, Blink. JT, I've seen more go down the rounds of like Treads, Double Bracer, Echo, so we'll see how the build ends up working with what he ends up getting. As yeah, we see these lanes. Viper, 27-8, he's getting a couple of denies.
He's come to sort of bully Nothing to Say here. Chasing him out, it's going to be a lot of damage, not quite enough to kill him, but still enough to force him away from that wave.
That's a big one.
Well, at least he's able to have some of the wave meet up here that will hang around with and be able to push back out.
Try to punish Ame since there's no Enchantress there. Can they finish him off?
It's good damage, but I mean, are they going to get away with keep diving him? Is there going to be any sort of backup? The backup's coming in now. And it just isn't enough damage to kill Ame. Or maybe another Bash is able to push him back in time with the Adaptive Strike. JT can't commit for the kill. Baboka should keep him topped off just enough so that Xingqiu won't find him.
They might keep chasing forward, though. DY has a creep connecting over.
Well, that's true with the wraparound, maybe. DY. And pushing them into the trees. Xingqiu low on the mana, though.
Up top in the meantime.
Pull back onto Baboka. It's a nice effort.
XXS also will survive the move that they make onto him. He puts a point into his passive to be able to block out some of the damage from the double range. That's actually pretty cool. And I might have actually ended up saving him. Rotation needed from Xingqiu to be able to protect Ame, but it will protect him. And he's back up to full.
Had to come down here for that one, Xingqiu.
And XXS living is kind of the, I think, the nicest thing, because if XXS dies, then that rotation from Xingqiu feels bad, but he keeps himself healthy and still looking good on those last hits. All right, Power Rune. Let's see who's going to get it. XM, he's got his treads finished up. Xingqiu in the area. 3 heroes. Xingqiu could be in trouble.
They could go for the kill here. He's got the Shadow Realm. XM will step forward and get in with the Viper Strike on towards Nothing to Say, but Xingqiu goes down. Baboka trying to keep Nothing to Say alive, but XM's layering up the
heals.
Can he get the kill, XM? He can. He'll go down, but he gets the kill in time.
They tried. I mean, I think that was a Healing Lotus on the IO, perhaps, or one of the two. I didn't see which one passed it over, but almost keeps the Cotton alive in time. XM, that's a big kill for him.
He'll take
3v1.
Indeed, picks up the solo XP. He's happy with that, getting that against the 3 of them.
Okay, I was the CM using the Healing Lotus there on the Coddle.
And also the wave was pushing in on the mid, so extra XP and gold being taken away there from the Coddle with the pressure that the lane was applying. Top lane. Of course. XXS not going to be dove upon as Xingqiu's by his side. I
really think that this, honestly, the 1 point in Bulwark has saved him maybe once or twice here. Maybe dropping low, but surviving. Kind of cool approach, not something you see too often. And XM now the biggest winner of the laning phase, though, in these first 7 minutes.
That really is.
It's massive. 600 ahead of his counterparts just because of that.
And just sort of looking at the state of the other lanes, the fact that Ame is not getting any pressure put on him.
No, not at all.
They just can't with the setup with the draft that they have. I mean, we saw what Ame did with a slow start, a slow game. If he's able to get good item timings on this morph, he's going to be a tough carry to deal with.
Yeah, if he as soon as he gets Manta style, he's pretty unkillable. He's going to have the Dispel versus Corrosive versus the CM spells versus the Vessel, Solar Bind, etc. It's going to cause things to be much more difficult. So let's see. Nothing to Say's timing is going to be as explosive as it needs to be. The Vessel is still 350 away. If he can get 1 kill, then he'll have it, and then we'll see all those rotations come out for him. Success. I mean, he just keeps eluding these ganks.
He's playing this lane very nicely, because a lot of the time now he is being left on his own.
Yeah.
But in none of these situations are they able to catch him. So good awareness from XXS.
It's causing a separation, of course, of that net worth, though. Monet's getting some good free farm into Slardar as well. JT's getting much more now than XXS in the bottom lane. And he's got his Treads Corrosion up, so very strong on the Slardar right now. XM has a haste rune. Oh, this is a real nice kill rune.
I mean, G2.iG, they're trying to do their best to hit these 2 6s, right? They want to keep giving Baboka the solo lane so they can hit that timing when the 6 has been hit on the Slardar and the IO, and they can look to set up for these global plays. As Baboka, with this next creep wave, should have it. Top lane. This time round, they're making a bit more of a successful dive in for XXS.
He pops the ult, but he still dies.
It's not going to block the right clicks in time. He goes down. See if they can get kills in return. Nothing to say about a TP out. And XM, he's just getting killed off by Monet and Xnova. It's a double kill for Monet. The Shadow Realm is available for Xingqiu. See, Monet can stand up with him. Does he want to dive? I mean, he has time lapse, so he can potentially look to dive this. He's going in for the kill. Xingqiu turns with a cursed crown, but Monet
he's
gonna get it. Triple kill for the Weaver. Beautiful stuff here for Monet in the safe lane.
XXS held for as long as he possibly could, trying to Arena of Blood block some ranged attacks, but
a little too late.
Not quite. Now DY also very dead.
Yeah, this is where G2.iG could definitely start to speed things up the way they'd hoped to.
That whole top situation was massive.
I mean, absolutely so much given to Monet off the back of those kills.
And nothing to say. I mean, that was such a heads-up TP from him. He now has, sure, he didn't get any of these Vessel charges and stuff like that, but he survives, gets his team the kill just because of a solar bind onto this Viper. Very nice move.
I mean, we did see it last game, the early to mid game. G2.iG were experts at playing.
And they've got some nice, the other thing to look at with nothing to say besides the Vestal and all that and the mobility that he can provide to shut down a Morph is he has some cool chakra targets. Slardar and Weaver are actually very nice. Being able to constantly go for your Shikuchis aggressively, being able to reset, same thing for Slardar, multiple crushes. Nothing to say has targets. Not some, you just use it on yourself as a mid laner, but if he sees opportunities, he can definitely get some good setups.
What a bounty!
A little bit of calm here. JT just putting the pressure onto the tower.
He might look to dive in a second.
I mean, DY only the only one really feeling confident enough to show themselves around the tower right now. I mean, JT's going to start trying to run him down.
He got his sprint dispelled.
And he has got backup. Xingqiu and XM making the move down here. They're going to see if they can try and punish JT and Baboka with the help of Arme as well.
Here comes XXS.
They're all going for this. Is there any way out? They have got the relocate, and Baboka, he's indeed going to have to bail JT out of this.
5-hero rotation from XG, and they're going to just have to settle for an IO. I think you're pretty happy if you're G2.iG off that. Forced top pressure, forced mid pressure.
It really is. You know, Monet continues to have the time of his life up on this top lane. As indeed, a dead IO, but Baboka will take that every time.
Ooh.
And now the dive top, they're going to try towards Arme.
He's alone, and here comes the Coddle.
Yeah, nothing to say. Swinging it from the side. Quickly put a stop to the freezing field. TP's now to come in, but under the tier 2, it's falling low, Arme. Monet can't quite finish him off. He'll have to use the time lapse and start to retreat now, with XM also showing his face at the tier 2.
Nice try with the blast. Nothing to say, not having a Vestal charge there. If he had it, for sure a kill, but yeah, not having it. But they'll be able to push Monet away, or push Arme off the tower, and they finished off the tower for Monet. Good aggressive items too. I love that he's gone for this Dragon Lance. Just super early item timings that they're looking to just dominate and pressure the map.
Absolutely, just sweeping across the map in. Monet looking over towards the mid. Got eyes on Xingqiu. He's got just enough mana for the Shadow Realm, but the bugs will latch on. And Monet, he wants to dive, but the spear comes in. XXS able to hold back Weaver, hold back Monet. Only for so long,
they're
though.
Still chasing.
The chase continues. Xingqiu, he's not going to get any further backup other than maybe that God's rebuked the slot.
Another spear?
He's tried his best, XXS, to save him, but will not be able to keep Xingqiu alive as Monet claims another.
And another one, perhaps. Look at bottom DY. They're making the connection over. A Spirit Vessel charge acquired here for the Coddle.
I mean, yeah, they've got the setup with the vision. And at this point, I don't know if Xtreme Gaming's really in a position where they can bring TPs in to bail anyone out. DY, he's going to get taken down as well.
Great moves again.
The kills are starting to rack up here for G2.iG.
I mean, very similar, actually. I thought they'd be able to actually fight it a little bit more on this side of XG with the way the lanes had started, but no. Moves from IG are quick.
It's going to be another tower.
Another one.
12 minutes. It's pretty much
all three.
It really was 12 minutes in last game. They got all the 3 tier 1s. They've done it again here in game 2.
Huge. A blink already finished up for the Slardar. They can keep putting this pressure on here with the Coddle, with the Slardar, with a Weaver going for early game item builds too.
We'll see if things change around the tier 2 towers. And if G2.iG want to try and force those for now, it's obviously getting close to the point where they can pull back and go for an early Roche.
Absolutely. It's been a lot slower for XXS in particular, which was, it felt like he was the one that they needed to be able to round in this first 13 minutes, maybe with a spear ulti, but him being left alone honestly hurts. Like Xingqiu having to make these TPs around to try to help the lanes, it's caused this Mars to be at the bottom of the course.
Yeah. I mean, even though the deaths aren't super high on Xtreme Gaming's side, it's still the fact that this time round there's more of them on the cores, right?
Yeah.
You've got XM going down twice so far, and XXS has died the once. So comparing this position to what we had at this time in game 1, it definitely is a bit more rough for Xtreme Gaming.
Yeah. I mean, XM playing a Viper, right? This isn't a hero that you ideally ever really want to die too much early on. You want to get that advantage and get a snowball going. Last time he's a Zeus, so it doesn't really matter because the hero scales at all stages.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, Viper does scale when he hits 25, of course, when he becomes that universal and all that, but
I guess on the plus side for the Xingqiu and DY, they certainly can scale for the support position.
Very true. Up top, reload.
They're going to get in there with jump onto Xingqiu, and Xingqiu, he doesn't get even a chance to escape. They'll turn over towards Arme.
They're right in his face.
The freezing comes down, the blast comes in, Arme's dead. They'll drop the arena.
XM?
But do they have any sort of damage to try and fire back? Monet and JT, they don't care. They could go for more. The Vestal Charge ticking down XM. Monet finishes him off. It's a triple kill here, 14 minutes in again for Monet.
JT's looking to go in again.
Oh, and the crush, the cleanup, it continues.
Wow.
4 kills here for the side of G2.iG. Monet 8-0-2. It could not be going any better for this carry weaver.
Perfect isolation of the hero. I mean, nothing to say now. Xingqiu actually going for a solo play here. Is he actually gonna? Alrighty. Okay.
All right. I mean,
well, that happened.
The supports kind of wanted to turn into these carries last game for Xtreme Gaming. Xingqiu's ready to start early this time round.
But man, such relentless dives. Love the way that they're playing with the relocates, playing around with the coddle. They're not giving any downtime to the side of XG to farm back up. Mobility is the key to their success on IG, with the coddle moving them around, or the coddle moving fast with his bots, and then the IO relocating and moving JT with his blink around. And a Weaver, super high mobile hero too. A Solar Crest now finished for Baboka too, so JT, he's a menace. He's gonna keep getting buffed up.
I mean, the map is just so dangerous now for Xtreme Gaming. We've seen how G2.iG, they have no fear. They're ready to dive these tier 2s every single time.
And they've got good deep vision too. Look at the wards that they place during these deep aggressive plays. They'll be able to see when heroes are isolated. If they get just a coddle set up with an IO relocate, it's pretty much any of the cores dead.
And it really is the thing that whilst Arme on the Morph can absolutely scale and be that incredible late game carry to be able to potentially turn it around, on the Morph compared to something like the Naga Siren, especially the fact they have like this Viper instead of the Zeus, they just don't have as easy of means to push out all the waves.
True.
And make it difficult for G2.iG to just continue advancing throughout these objectives.
Absolutely true. I mean, the only way for them to push lanes is by showing their heroes, except for DY, right? The Enchantress can still do his Enchantress stuff, but everyone else has to show themselves in a lane, while last game they were just shoving lanes and disappearing constantly.
Yeah. The lack of these sort of types of heroes like the Zeus and the Naga that they don't have this time around could definitely hurt them this game.
And Roche, it's just with 3 heroes. So in the meantime, while they're doing this, the CM and the coddle can still hunt. So this is great plays here, continue to happen from G2.iG.
Actually, it's going to be theirs.
It's all 3 lanes are pressure too. That's the crazy thing. Everyone on the side of Xtreme is scared to show the lane.
Yeah, they just can't push them back out. At least not without putting their lives at risk.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now with the Aegis on Monet as well. I mean, already unkillable.
They're setting up. Down bottom, XM. He's got the Aghanims finished up, so looking like he's just trying to be that kind of protecting force for his team versus his high physical.
I mean,
but
yeah, the disarm is strong.
they have good mixed damage is the thing.
They certainly do. I mean, XM already been burst down to half HP, but below it even as well. They will take the Aegis very quickly out of Monet.
Okay, they will lose DY in the meantime.
I mean, XM, one more charge might just bring him down. They go in and they just finish him off with the Shikuchi.
Wow.
I mean, they take the Aegis out of Monet's hands, but it really does not matter. Monet just continues godlike, and up top as well. They're looking for Arme. The bots is there, nothing to stay able to TP over.
Oh, he's dead.
Wave. Arme dead as well. Whew. They are absolutely stepping it up after game 1. Game 1, they did play fast in these early moments. Game 2, they're doing it even faster. This is exactly what they need to be able to have a chance of closing this up. Xnova's going to take the time to farm some creep camps with the freezing field.
Sure,
He's
why
happy
not?
with the pace that they're hitting.
Don't blame him. They don't need him. They really don't need him to set up for these kills. Just JT and the coddle can set up every time.
Check it out again on this replay here. Diving in, the Ags is done, but it just didn't really have too much of an impact. It allows them to kill off Monet once, but outside of that, XM having nothing else to show at this point of the game.
This coddle pick just seems so wonderful to fit with the draft.
It destroys the Viper's game.
Yeah, it's sure he's not like godlike on the coddle or anything like that, but what he's able to do to set up for his teammates to just snowball out of control, you're just seeing the power of it. He's everywhere. The coddle's bottom, the coddle's top, providing mana for his teammates, providing the heal, etc. Yeah, JT's feeling it. Look at that.
You just can't match these global moves right now if you're Xtreme Gaming.
They're going to need so much more time. Ame almost has the Manta at the least finished, but we're seeing fragile heroes all over the place. Even though it's a Viper and a Mars, they don't seem that tanky.
And they have ways to catch him beyond the Manta now with their itemization and the lead that they have. Orchid done.
Orchid finished on the Slardar and Gleipnir finished on Monet. So yeah, further forms to be able to block him down. XG needs something. I mean, they need these three in particular to get together and get some big either
gonna
Mars
try-
ult plus Fear plus the...
They have
Viper's
got that
just hitting
combo,
together.
but at the same time, it's so hard trying to go on someone. Ideally, they do go for like the JT Baboka duo, because if they go for someone else, these two will be relocating in to provide backup. So finding one of these could be big, but they're not going to get the catch.
Instant reload.
Yeah, Baboka's ready to take JT out. Doesn't want to run the risk of him losing his life to
They
this
might
move.
fight. They might fight this.
I mean,
could
they
be a bit of a trick.
TPs are coming in.
They have the tower right here.
I mean, the question is if Xtreme Gaming want to try and commit for this. They want to try and get the IO. It may cost them.
This is going to be risky for XP.
I mean, they're going to look for Baboka, but Baboka's pretty tanky. The arena's dropped, but XM, he's already dead. The arena's out. Fear on a Baboka, but it's taking so much to try and kill this IO. They'll finally get him. The freezing field comes out. It's going to be G2.iG.
Did step it up quite a bit from that last
They
game.
did, and honestly, respect to sort of G2.iG going into this game two with the same approach. You know,
True, very
after you have
true.
a game one like that where you're trying to play faster, you're trying to shut things down, you go all in on the early game, to lose it at 78 minutes, you got to be confident to say, you know what, we're going to run it back, we're going to do it better this time.
Going for Tormentor as well here. There is TPs coming out here. I think that might be pushing it for G2.iG unless they have the IO as well. And yeah, they'll back away. Provide a nice corrosive haze. All right, I think XG will be happy about that one at the least. Everything else seems to just be going horribly wrong for them. It felt like perhaps just because the lanes at the start were going better, they'd be able to fight back, but no, the movement, the tower taking, the mobility is too high. And a full BKB now for nothing to say. Couldn't get to him, it felt like anyway.
This'll come in handy.
Good luck getting the arena on top of him now.
And for Xtreme Gaming, are they close to anything that's going to allow them to have a better chance in these fights, a better chance of maybe getting the jump, bursting through one of these heroes? Because we saw even in the last one, going on Baboka, it's not easy. This guy's tanky.
Feels like they need maybe just a full item on each hero almost, it feels like. A BKB on XXS probably pretty necessary. That might be one of the main ones, but either way, it's going to be very difficult in these upcoming fights. Ame is fragile, even with this Manta finished up. He will have the phylactery pretty soon, but that doesn't help him getting run down from these heroes. And XM.
Monet. Live near done. Setting up here onto XM. XM, he's gone. There's no hope for him out here.
They can't even help him because if someone else shows to help, they'll die to JT.
Oh, look at this. JT, he's diving up towards GQ. Can he get it before he gets over?
The Orchid.
Look out to the Orchid damage. He's out.
Relentless dives.
They're playing so fast here, G2.iG. They, even though they lost the first one, the warm-up, I think it definitely worked.
Yep. I had nothing to say. Just really cruising it forward with his teammates and JT again. I mean, JT having an excellent game this time, just like last time, but this time he's more of the initiating, just starter fighter, and he has been getting every single catch perfectly.
Yeah, look at that. Another tier 2 gone. It's 22 minutes in. They can definitely look for more off the back of this. I mean, we'll see how patient they play it once again with the Roshans. Last game, they did kind of wait back on each and every one of them before trying for these aggressive moves. But honestly, with the lead that they have this time round, I think it's likely that they can go for these tier 2s without it.
Yeah, they can brute force it a lot easier just because they also have this sustain coming in this time around, right? They have IO plus Coddle, so these two are just going to provide heals, and oh yeah, they're looking to keep it going.
They don't need to slow down. They don't need to wait for anything here, G2.iG. They're so strong right now.
Amp damage also on Monet. Anyone who gets found is just gone in an instant. Does XXS have his BKB finished yet? Not quite. They're still a ways away from being able to fight versus this hybrid lineup that just does so much magical and physical damage.
Who's going to dare show on the wave? That's the question.
I mean, they have to show eventually, right? Like, these lanes are a problem. Nobody wants to show on the side of XG because they just die.
I mean, look at this move. They're trying to see if they can catch anyone behind the tier 2, but right now the majority of Xtreme Gaming hovering around the tier 2 mid. They know that with them being off the map as long as they have been, that something's going on.
DY trying his hardest to be able to find places to push the lanes out, get some farm for himself, but at any moment he could just get found and killed. All right, the group up, it's happening. Looks like XG, they're going to try to find something, try to find some burst.
They have to take it. They can't sit back and farm the same way as they did last game because they just don't have a comparable amount of wave pushing.
They have a really good ward top. They saw both the IO and the Weaver for a second here, so this would be the perfect grab if they were to get the stun on perfectly. Monet.
He's a hard one to kill, and he's already out with the Shikuchi. They can't get the opening onto him, and even if they did,
it has to be perfect.
BKB's ready, time-lapse is there, and Baboka's, he's also in the neighborhood with a time-lapse if required.
Yeah,
that's probably with a better relocate.
It would be pretty impossible. They have to like literally land the terrorize perfectly, and Baboka just has to be late.
Yep.
It's Tormentor to fall to these two. Full HP as well.
He's going to BKB for the next fight, by the looks of it, JT.
Oh, man. Baboka's actually also hanging on to a greater healing Lotus, which honestly, this Lotuses are still so busted on IO, so this is going to help so much in the upcoming fight.
Oh, and they're going to come in with a relocate. They've seen DY looking around this area, and Xnova, he's going to have to lock down to set things up. Drops the ult. He'll take that one, thank you very much.
Very unnecessary, but why not? 13K lead. Yeah, last game felt it stayed consistent for like, what, a long time at that, like 3 to 5K. They found a couple opportunities that did swing it, but they were always playing versus the potential of a Nagastar scaling.
It's so much harder this time for Xtreme Gaming to turn this one.
It's just really the Morphling who's going to get that big scaling at this point. Viper is just way too far behind, unless some crazy stuff happens, which maybe it could. Smoke coming out. G2.iG. Have a very nice deep ward bottom. I mean, this one is very unexpected.
See who JT can find.
They do see him for a second there.
XM. And they're going to get the jump on him. Caught by the silence, the damage here coming through from JT. XM cannot move away.
Perfect control of the map. See bottom as well too. They saw XXS, so now they even see the BKBs online for the Mars since they have that ward down there. And another tier 2. They can pressure. Very clean.
Radiant's bottom tower
Looking to fix up what happened that last game.
They really have. I mean, would you say this is more down to the play or the way that they were able to set up the draft this time that's kind of allowed them to get this much more of a control on this early game?
I'd say play, but honestly the draft, just the movement, the mobility that I've seen from them, the Kato with the IO being able to just move people around, it's just posing too much threat. And XG doesn't, as you said, they don't have those invisible wave clearers. Besides the Enchantress, I guess.
Roshan back up. They'll be ready to go for a second one here. It's Xtreme Gaming, not in any shape or form to come out and contest it.
Nope.
JT.
DY's like, I got this, guys.
And if anybody sees him, he is very, very dead.
No way he speaks. He can't.
So not only likely to get the roast, they'll get a kill on the way. Over to the pit.
Baboka takes the last hit. That's pretty much Baboka's BKB as well. That's insane. Wait, BKB, he's got BKB Solar Crest down on the IO. Now, who does XXS go for? XXS's target in these fights was probably the IO, but now who? Who do you want to go for?
Xtreme Gaming right now, they have got to hope that G2.iG use some sort of like insane base dive.
Ame? Oh my goodness, that was scary. Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else they find the damage to kill any of these heroes. It is so hard right now here for Xtreme.
All this heal provided from Baboka, greater healing Lotus plus the cheese, like, holy moly. Gem picked up as well from Xnova, just looking to keep that lead cemented. Don't let them outside the base. Only really the Morphling. I feel like I've only seen Ame really getting much net worth whatsoever. I see XM getting a little bit here and there. He's got his Manta at least finished for some dispels, but just no space for them to farm with the way G2.iG is controlling everything. Look at how like, DY has to randomly run in the river and probably just die over and over again just because there's nowhere really for them to go.
Where are you going?
JT will take that.
8-0-9.
Flawless.
The deep.
So close to having that Scardy done here as well on Monet. Have a brief disconnect, but definitely some discussions to be had here from Xtreme Gaming's side of things on what they want to do to just try and give it some sort of a shot this game. The high ground defense, maybe somewhere they can get some sort of spear, push back on the tier 4s, and then they're killing off someone on G2.iG, but
Unlikely.
even if they get that sort of catch, the saves that are going to be available, the heals coming out, it's incredibly overwhelming. They've hit all their timings this game, G2.iG.
Yeah, and they even feel confident enough for Baboka to take a Nemesis Curse. I feel like I don't think you would ever see an IO take this item if they weren't in this position. He knows.
Wait,
he's like,
what?
whatever.
Okay.
He takes
Nemesis
8%.
Cursed IO. All right, he really believes they can't kill him.
He's got BKB Cheese Solar Crest with a greater healing Lotus. Like, who's going to kill him?
He actually, he feels
actually won't die.
It's just that unfair. He's like, I'm going to nerf myself and increase the 8%. 8% more damage. I'm going to take it because you're still not going to kill me.
It's cool. I guess if like his other cores didn't get it and stuff, he just is going to be able to put that debuff on them.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like it.
Why not? Whatever.
Don't do this in your pubs.
Don't do this in your pubs. But I like it.
Still many minutes here to push with the Aegis. The final tier 2 for Xtreme Gaming standing in the mid lane. As it is, they're content with continuing to just farm at the map, get themselves towards their next time here on G2.iG.
Yeah, they're cruising. For XG, I think the only way you want to fight is inside the base. No way you look to do anything else outside. You're just looking to shove waves in and hope, really hope that G2.iG just makes a big blunder going for high ground pushes. But with this type of sustain that they have with their lineup, I mean, they're not even risking it at all too either here. They're just keeping this farm increasing.
Monet. He's going to get caught by a Viper Strike, but caught by nothing else.
Goodbye. Easily walks himself away. Xingqiu farming some nice Ancients here. Desperation.
Still very far away from being able to turn into these cores, these supports on Xtreme Gaming, which, at least coming from like the Enchantress side of things, DY did do a lot in that turnaround of game 1.
He sure did. They did have a way better draft of holding high ground, though,
really
too, right?
did.
Like
They
Naga stall, Zeus stall, they really don't. And these items just keep flurrying in. There's that Scotty. Picks up a Quiver 2, level 19. Hesitant to hit this tier 2 mid, though.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Losing the courier as well there, Xingqiu. Not even able to enjoy his ether lens, gets sniped out here by nothing to say.
When you look at the minimap, it kind of looks like XG's, it's like a pub for XG. You see a DY is farming jungle on Enchantress, Xingqiu's farming jungle on the opposite side, and then the 3 cores are just trapped in the base. There's really not much else they can do because they can't look for a fight. Relocate's coming behind Ame.
I mean, they're going to try and get the setup, and there's the blink forward. JT's in and put the BKBs able to stay on
picking
top
on
of
him.
Ame.
The chain bash.
Ame just getting completely destroyed here as JT gets the kill. And they can look for more. They got a Will-O-Wisp pulling in the 2 of them. XM trying to jump away here with the Agnes. They'll drop the arena, but Monet's just
doesn't do anything.
Cleans up one of them. He's going to be able to turn towards DY as DY will slowly but surely fall as the kills should continue to roll in. 29-5, 30 minutes in. This time G2.iG, they have no struggle of getting up to the high ground.
They don't, like the Mars ult just does absolutely nothing. They just BKB, waltz right through it, and they're pretty much essentially all full HP after a couple Illuminate heals that are going to come through.
The tower's gone. Potentially the racks as well. They've still got time to push. Xtreme Gaming not wanting to use their buybacks on these low timers. Has nothing to say. He may even be able to get more kill setups. He's got the catch on a Xingqiu. As Xingqiu, he's dead as well.
Feels like for XG, this one might just be one they're talking about the next game because they can't even touch anybody. Brax is dropped with no contest, and they're just going to go straight down mid if they want to.
Everything going to plan here for G2.iG's approach. What can Xtreme Gaming do? I mean, Ame...
Okay, good question.
2,500 gold in towards his BKB, but even so, when that's there, they will have the means to kill this morph.
Can he even get an attack off is the question. JT, when he's solo crested, overcharged, and now he has an AC, I don't think Morphlin can move. Pretty sure you're perma-bashed. And now he's got another neutral item, and he gets a Vindicator's axe. So, okay, yeah, now you're definitely perma-bashed.
Absolutely perma-bashed, yeah.
So I can't really move if you do get caught on any of these heroes on XG. G2.iG will let them suffer a little more, backing up, clearing out these waves. But it truly does feel like suffering for XG this time.
It really does. I mean, and this game, obviously, G2.iG, they will play it careful. If somehow Xtreme Gaming is able to get the turnaround and get the win, this would be the end of the road for G2.iG.
Yeah.
So I imagine we will see them probably wait for the next rush. I don't think they need to, but it depends if they do want to be that safe because this could be their elimination game if they are to lose it.
There's no glyph available, and they do have some. I think they might just go for it in this one. They have all the BKB, so I think they probably feel safe enough. We'll see.
Hovering outside of the base, seeing if they can catch any members of Xtreme Gaming that do dare to step out.
Is that a full hex as well? Okay, another form of catch. Good God. Ame's got the BKB like you were mentioning, but how much he's going to be able to do with this? Is he going to be able to even use the BKB is number one question, and number two is is he going to be able to actually focus fire into any of these heroes? Because the supports are tanky, the cores are unbelievably tanky, and the rest of his team does not have really any farm to back him up.
They're holding back. I think they're just going to wait for it.
Okay.
Get that next rush. Don't take any risks. Even though it's not really much of a risk to just go for the next fight because of how far ahead they are.
Yeah.
But you can't afford to make those mistakes. And still, the game one is going to be lingering in their minds.
That's true.
Even though I'm sure they know themselves that this is a much better position to be in right now than what they're able to achieve at the start of game one.
I mean, Gaben is lying to us, by the way, because it ticked to 100% and then it ticked down to a 99. So there's always the chance.
They don't want to risk that 1%. They don't want to risk it. Wait for the Roche. It'll be a minute until we see when it's back up. And also, just getting that next set of items online. The Daedalus that Mone's looking towards. And by the looks of it, he's kind of been flicking through a few different options, JT, but the Aghanims is back on the table as his next pickup.
Sure. His attack speed is just so insane with this IO.
Smoke from Xtreme. They know if they're going to try and take a fight to turn this, they've got to do it at a point where G2.iG aren't pushing into the base.
It has to be on their terms.
Roshan.
Yeah, it has to be on their terms. Like, they just need to completely surprise them and get the chain stun and get at least 1 or 2 kills first before the fight starts. But all of IG is here already. And I don't think they have the damage to be able to pop one of these cores. It sure doesn't feel like
Mone's got a shield.
Not anymore.
Okay, it's gone now. Takes it off here. White. Well, the Wisp is down. It's going to pull onto the two of them and forces XXS to pop an early BKB. There's the arena now.
The BKBs are online.
Deepa Boca JD just popped the BKB. They step out of the fight for now. The field will catch on to Monet. But what can they do with this sort of setup, Xtreme Gaming? Very little. They cannot commit to kill off anyone. G2.iG can simply walk away.
Look at the respect that they're still giving. Even though they're at this enormous advantage and can perhaps go for some kills, they still just back it off.
I mean, it's an elimination game. They don't want to throw this one away.
And that is the entire spell usage really pretty much from the side of XG, right? That's the Mars ult and the BKB, so they probably know that there's no way they're going to fight us after that. And yeah, those full items, as you mentioned, they are coming out pretty much on the courier now. That Aghanims for JT, I believe it is done in a second here. And same thing for the Daedalus on Monet soon. A long respawn again.
It is. A couple minutes left. Roshan and Xtreme Gaming. Question is if they want to try and take the chance of going out on the map once again and just looking to do something before that Roshan is claimed by G2.iG.
Where do you look to go? Not a whole lot you can gain, and the thing is too is if you don't run out as 5 on XG, there could just be a relocate with a boot to travel in, and then you're just, yeah.
And you just can't keep these waves pushed out against you.
Not at all.
The pressure's going to be kept up on the base any time that you try and go for a smoke play. So they'll know that it's coming, G2.iG.
Man, they are really playing it as safe as possible.
Finders.
All right, Daedalus. All right, 50 minutes till Roche.
50 minutes?
50 minutes till Roche. Ogre Steel Totem as well, just more and more ways to protect themselves. I mean, yeah, they're just luxury, and they're cruising. And they're actually, okay, maybe setting up for bottom, but Boca TPing down.
Ooh, they do want to get some of these kills here. They've noticed Xtreme Gaming pushing out.
Uh-oh, XM, does he show himself for a second?
He's just out of vision, and he's going to get away.
I can't believe he stepped out that far. That's crazy. We'll be able to survive. 20 seconds. X-Nova just patient.
He's just playing the wildlife here, basically. Sitting in the Roshan pit.
What's Ame's? I mean, Ame's farm. He's starting to honestly. He's starting to catch up on. He's starting to catch up. At least in the courses, but it's just him.
And Morph can carry some pretty ridiculous games, and Ame on the Morph certainly can carry some very ridiculous games. But this is beyond ridiculous.
This is pretty beyond ridiculous. But he's gonna.
I don't know if there's much of a hope from here. He's going to try his best, and if he can pull this off,
that would be insane.
It will be more than insane. Yeah.
He doesn't really have the best morph target either. I think some of the games where I've seen like these morphs start to come back, you know, in particular when we saw Pure versus like the Razors and whatnot, he had like a link where it was like steroiding him out of control for him to start to do that. But this one doesn't really have the best one to turn into.
Maybe just turn as the IO, tether your Viper and call GG. And maybe the play out of the game for Ame here.
Who's he giving this to? Aghanim's Blessing. X-Nova, he's holding on to it for a second here. Oh, they're just going to give it. Okay.
Now they should push. Aegis and Cheese are there. G2.iG should be ready to look towards pushing this series towards that third game. See if Xtreme Gaming can pull together one final defense. How's the buybacks looking for Xtreme? How many lives are they going to have to throw at them? They got 3 buybacks.
Okay. Nothing to say as a full refresher, and a Hex, and the Will-O-Wisp. So there's 2 Will-O-Wisps, 2 Hexes, 4 Solar Binds, etc., etc., etc. Have to kill Coddle. But how do you? They're starting to get their tier 4 items.
DY's ready.
He's got the Ancient Guardian. He's ready to do the damage on this Ench. Plus 100 back at the base.
Dire are scanning.
See where this push comes in. They get in the waves pushed in. Now, they played it slow enough to wait for that rush. And imagine they're not going to just wait for the next one.
No. 3 minutes.
But you say that, you never know. They like to play it careful here, G2.iG.
I was also, you know what I've been checking constantly too? The Greater Healing Lotus status. Because there's a Cheese. I know we don't see block of Cheese almost ever, but they have full map control for 20 minutes.
What? They get the opening!
Connection.
Oh, he's healed. Baboka's able to keep him alive for now. It's a long stun,
He actually dies.
And that's it dead once, Monet. We'll see what they can do on round 2. Jump forward from JT, trying to get in with the crush onto DY, but won't be able to get the jump.
Oh god, maybe they will go back. Maybe they will go back. Maybe they will go back.
Wait for the next stages now. Oh no. No, they're not. They're going to go in, surely.
That was a lot committed. That was the ult.
To the tower.
That was the BKB. That was pretty much everything from XXS. Yep. They've got the heal. They've got the sustain.
There's an AC done on an XM.
Okay.
Look at the Hex. So if they want to dive this, they're focusing the tier 3. Monet is in.
They got the stun.
They're in on XM. Be able to get a jump away with the Axe disarm. Monet will finish off the kill. The crits come flying through. He'll cut down XM.
Nice try, XXS. He
no buyback on the Viper.
Tried to bulwark some of the hits, but nah, XM a bit too far up. Didn't get the man to dodge.
Now they can get onto the barracks. There's a full Satanic on Ame.
He's farmed. But he's playing versus 5 farmed heroes.
Smoke up. They're going to look for the jump. There's no arena though still for 30 seconds on XXS. So it's just going to have to be a blink spear pushback.
Watching Monet.
They're going to try.
There's the spear.
There's the spear. Do they have the burst? Ame's in. They're bringing him low. It's not low enough.
enough.
Time lapse there from Monet. He's fine.
Baboka this time used the Greater Healing Lotus to heal him. Last time was the Cheese. Pumps him up just in case.
They'll get this mid-racked. The melee, the ranger are gone. That's the second set they've picked up.
They're continuing. They know there's still no arena. It's back up in a second, though.
Get the Glightmare. Onto DY, but a quick jump back. Keeps him fine. 10 seconds until XM's back in action.
Baboka has his BKB now also, so he can play very far up on this IO.
The arena's there.
XXS,
gonna try. He's gonna go for it. He gets the spear pushed back onto the 2 of them.
There's a fear as well.
Follow-up as well, but there's no follow-up damage.
Hex on Ame
They're
during it.
perfectly fine here. As they can keep their distance, nothing to say, goes in with the BKB, but Ame's going to look to jump the backlines. He's going to look towards Xnova.
It's a risky play.
He turns into the slider, tries to crush them, but Ame's gone. Dead for 70.
Nice spear.
They do get the kill onto JT. Now they're looking towards Monet, but he's able to time that once more with the Steiners.
Monet is dead.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, what? The Mindbreaker hit, I think, got him there from XM.
Oh, they should have just... I guess they should have just waited for the next day. You know, they were right all along.
Well, they got Ame, and they got 2 sets.
They did.
So
they did.
Damage was done. 2 sets plus an exposed last rack.
They didn't win the game,
but
though.
they didn't win the game.
The game's still going.
Was under attack.
They're holding Xtreme Gaming.
DY did, I want to say, the most damage again in the fight, by the way, just like the last game.
Let's have a look. Yeah, did, 5,200 damage.
Slightly less than the Viper, but not bad.
Okay.
When you're this far behind. Ame full committed, though.
I mean, and honestly, just brilliant catches from XXS. He's the only reason why they're still going in this game. Every single time, these spear catches, that last time around with the shard, catching the two of them. Sure, they didn't kill them initially, but just starting the fight like that.
I mean, Owen, he has a full refresher. If he can land a double spear into another double spear,
he may just carry them.
Like, we don't even need to look. Let's just not look at the arena, right? If he can just land 2 double spears, maybe there's still hope. It's a last set of racks, though. G2.iG, there's 3 minutes left till Roche spawns.
And they will wait for it.
I imagine they will.
We know they will.
They finished up some big items, too. Yes, they did lose all 3 of the cores, but I believe both supports survived. So Baboka, he did finish up a heart in that last engagement as well. So he's still continuing to get crazy strong. But a fighting chance.
It really is, and the fact that next time
Very
round,
small one.
they will have buybacks available for the defense as well. Arme's just 200 gold away from having his buyback. So if XXS,
I mean, this is unbelievable.
It's all falling down to XXS's initiation. If he can start the fight off in such a way, with this 2 rounds of the arena, the BKB, and the spears, it could be something.
This will be
so hard.
crazy.
It's, you know, this game in this position compared to what Xtreme Gaming had to deal with last time around, this is 10 times harder.
But he's got the arcane boots. He's doing everything he can to have the full mana capacity to be able to use his ults. Any other big items that was picked up? You did mention, of course, the AC that was from Xtreme from earlier, Dragonlance 2, and these neutral items have to be something to point out. Xingqiu, he did get a Timeless Relic, so that extra, of course, debuff duration for fears and whatnot could come into play.
JT's nearly got the full Bloodthorn, so they'll at least wait until they have that.
It feels like Ame still has a very, very difficult time to be able to actually survive in these fights, because if they just get on him, he's dead. If the Slaughter starts hitting him, he just goes down.
Sure.
But they do seem to have damage provided just without Ame as well. And yeah, probably going to wait for that Aegis.
There's the Bloodthorn, so if they can still get the jumps, G2.iG, they will shred through whoever they target.
Absolutely. First. It's just all about, if they can get this fight started on if XG can ever get these fights started on their own, then they can perhaps maybe get some of these bursts. As there is no cheese, and there is no greater healing Lotus, which actually was a pretty big factor, at least
I really was.
Save Monet in one of the last
For
ones.
all the farm that Monet has, and the backup that Baboka can give him, he can still die.
Yeah. And I think they're being thrown double Solar Crest on him too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they have been, so they see him as well.
Xtreme,
Lanes are
they will be waiting in the base, and G2.iG, they will be waiting for their favorite friend, the Roshan.
Yep, all 3 lanes shoved in to XG's face. Bounty control. Items continue to come out. Monet, full panic.
I mean, an Ame, would you imagine he will spend up for the butterfly or hold for buyback? What's going to be more important in this next fight?
I feel like he just spends up. That's just what it feels like for him. It feels like he needs every little thing he can get.
The question is, we saw last time round, Xtreme Gaming, they did try and get out at the base and go for these fights around the timing when they assumed that Roshan was up.
True.
After sort of doing okay in that last defense and pushing back G2.iG, do you think they try for that again? Or at this point, they sort of say, well, hey, you know what? The fights on the high ground actually can go well enough for us
the high ground.
that we still just wait here.
I think last game they had the factor of like the Zeus, where they could like Zeus ult and scout everybody. They had illusions flanking to scout everybody as well. So I think for that one, they need to fight like perfectly on their terms with the Mars. So I would say,
Just wait
on their high ground, yeah.
It's going to be a relatively short Roshan respawn here, just under 30 seconds now, so. G2.iG ready to claim that.
Baboka's collecting the Lotuses again. So he will have a little bit of extra heal, of course, to push into Monet.
Yeah, butterfly done. Not going to be as simple as taking down Ame with these right clicks. Maybe if they get the stun into the Bloodthorn, but he's got ways to save himself, and the team can certainly bail him out as well.
Yeah, Monet's not even going down the route of having that true strike, of course. Baboka is, though. Baboka's going for the late game. He wants the level 25 when he can get the MKB.
Okay.
Because they do still have that scaling. And they're actually going to go for this. All right.
I mean, this is the risk. They know that Roshan's about to respawn, and they know that G2.iG is going to be going for it. They want to try and take the fight outside of the base. But as you say, they don't quite have the same vision game as they did last time to do it around.
Let's see, though. They have the wards placed down early. Let's see. This is...
Smoke on smoke.
It's a risky move.
Monet is heading in to try and dispel the smoke, get some information. He's able to get the route onto XXS. They're going to be able to jump back. He's gone!
He's gone!
Perfect start to the fight here for G2.iG as they eliminate the Mars. DY to fall.
That felt so risky.
I mean, it really was. They went all in, they took the risk, and it's going to cost them big time.
Maybe they felt desperate because of the Roshan and
everything. It was a desperate position that they were in.
But yeah, they lose all three, no buybacks available, and now they don't even need to go for the Rosh. They can just look for the end.
But you say that, they might... Guys, let's get the Aegis first. We'll see. No, they're pushing. They're ready to end it. They're ready to take this game too, as they're onto the third set of barracks.
And now they relocate back to Rona. They'll look for the tier 4s.
Tier 4s. Satanic done, the mega creeps are out. Only Arme and Xingqiu left up here. They've got the fortification. Creep waves are kind of pushing out in favor of Xtreme Gaming, but
they're killing these buildings too fast.
They really are. You got the fear. Slow down Monet a little bit.
Still so much time, 30 seconds.
15 seconds until XXS is up. They're going to try and force it. They're going to try and end it. They're onto the Ancient, but the backdoor protection's kicking in. Backdoor protection's kicking in. It's gone now, though. Arme, he's standing his ground against JT, nearly kills him. XXS, he's going to be back in a second. See what he can do here. XXS has got to do something crazy. He's going to get the jump on JT, but there's relocate out.
Nicely done. It's not a far one either. It's still inside the base. Yeah, they're still ready to fight.
But they didn't finish the game, and Xtreme Gaming will have everybody back up. Do you know what that means?
They're going to go Rosh.
Probably go Rosh.
Baboka, BKB, so tanky. He lives.
Ancient exposed. Roshan for the taking as G2.iG will back up.
Good lord, did you see this damage though? A corrosive haze on one target and literally one attack from the Weaver and they're dead. That's all it really takes at this point, and there's no way to dispel it. Level 26 on JT, so if you're corrosive hazed, yeah, they know exactly where you are, and Monet will just kill you.
42k lead.
Hugging
they
the
have
Ancient.
Everything now to close this one up.
Yeah.
They could pretty much just go for the Ancient. I mean, what's this sort of fortification situation?
It's
down.
Yeah.
They could probably just BKB and end it. XXS didn't use the arenas or the refreshers in that last fight, so the double combo is there.
Can they deal with all of them though? Everyone's so big.
That Swift blink on JT.
So farmed.
And of course, no buybacks on Xtreme Gaming. They don't have the luxury of the time or the money.
They gave Xnova the eggs too, right? Yeah, Xnova, he is almost the same net worth as the Viper now. 5 cores.
Are they ready to go into the base?
Radiant are scanning.
Smoking in.
Who shows?
Whoever shows will certainly die.
Ward in the base. CXM, they got the bug on him.
Straight away for the Viper. XXS puts the BKB. The first arena's out, but they just turn towards XXS. The bash comes in. XXS is out.
Ame's disintegrated.
3 dead, no buybacks.
GG.
And they'll call it. G2.iG will take game 2. And ladies and gentlemen.